Now we will get into the topic of functional topics of microcontroller, so as to get an end-to-end understanding of microcontroller in general sense. Now, in the functional concepts of microcontroller, there are two topics: pins in microcontroller and the clocks in microcontrollers. Let's start first of all dwell into the pins in microcontrollers. So microcontrollers have a physical endpoints through which it interacts with the outside world, and this physical endpoint is called as the pins of the microcontroller, and it is through these pins only out of from which it transfers and receives the data to the outside world, and the data is in the nature of analog signals or the digital signals. You take any microcontroller, you will find that each microcontroller will be having these pins, and there are mainly two. First category is the power pins, and another category is the input output pins. Power pins are the pins of the microcontroller through which it gets the electrical power. All the microcontrollers operate either at 5 voltage or the 3.3 voltage. As so, microcontroller has to be powered through its power pins with the voltage of 5 voltage or 3.3 voltage, so as to get the microcontroller powered, as it's an electrical device. So it will be needing some power, some energy to operate. So for this powering, there are two pins, VCC and the ground pins. From the VCC, it will get the plus 3.3 or plus 5 voltage, and the ground pin will be grounded to the power supply or the battery from which we are powering the microcontroller. Apart from these VCC and the ground, there are some also miscellaneous power pins which are used for the analog circuitry of the microcontrollers, and these are named as A reference or AVCC. So that's all in the power pins of the microcontroller. In every microcontroller, you will find that there are around 5 to 10 pins which are in total for the power pins, having the combination of this analog circuitry power pins also and the normal powering of the microcontroller also with the VCC and the ground pins. Now let's dwell into the input output pins. So input output pins are the pins which act as a mediator to transfer the data to the peripherals of the microcontroller, which need data from the outside world. Peripherals like communication peripherals like of CAN, LIN, UART, I2C, SPI, Ethernet, all these will be needing some communication, will be doing some communication with the outside world. So on doing the communication, they will be transmitting or receiving the data. Same way in the case of digital and analog signals, we'll be getting or sampling or outputting the digital and analog signals from or to the outside world. Programming and debugging peripherals, so all these peripherals will be needing an interface and mediator who can transfer the data from the outside world and get the data inside these peripherals in the microcontroller, and this thing is done by the input output pins like UART peripheral, which implements the UART protocol. So it will be having a UART RX and UART TX pins, UART receiving and UART transmission pins for doing the UART communication. SPI peripheral would be used for SPI protocol, and SPI protocol has the pins by the name of MOSI, MISO, SCK and CE. So microcontroller will be having the pins by the nature of these pins, so as to do the SPI communication. Same way timer and the analog channels and the analog peripherals would be having the pins which are from which we can sample and generate the analog, the digital pulses. So we can divide the input output pins of a microcontroller in terms of the peripherals which are present in a microcontroller. Like there are communication peripherals, so there are communication pins in a microcontroller for doing the UART, I2C, SP or any corresponding communication protocol. So the peripherals like timers, GPIO, ADC, DAC would be having the pins, and that there will be use of concepts of channels. And the pins which are used for these peripherals are being referred as the channels: ADC channel pins, PWM channel pins, timer channel pins, and etc. Then comes same way for the programming and debugging pins for using the debugging peripherals and programming peripherals. Along with the programming and debugging pins, there are reset and clock pins as well, which are used for resetting the microcontroller, that is making it getting start from the its main pointer or it's in a program counter, what we can in a technical way, and clock pins for attaching some crystal oscillator for power powering the clock signals to the microcontroller. We will get to the clock pins into the next functional topic, but yeah, just like there are programming and debugging pins, there are reset and clock pins also, which we usually don't change when we are programming the microcontrollers. So these pins come as factory default and we leave them as it is in what manner they come for a development in most of the cases. Now, in the pins of microcontroller, there is one more concept of ports. That is, how do we refer or use the pins of the microcontroller? Now, like in a microcontroller, there are number of pins. In some microcontrollers, there can be just 8 or 10 pins, and in microcontrollers, there can be more than 100, 200, and up to 300 pins in a microcontroller. So, how do we refer these pins? How do we know which pin we want to use? So, in this case, comes the concept of ports. Basically, what we do a grouping, and microcontroller pins are grouped, and each group is called as port. And these groups are kind of named according to the alphabetical order. That is port A, port B, port C, port D. And in each port, we can have maximum 32 pins of a microcontroller. For example, we can take an example of Arduino board, which has Atmega 328 microcontroller on it, and it has three ports, and the port B, port C, and port D, and each port has 8 pins on it. Port B0 to port B7, port C0 to port C7, and port D0 to port D7. Same way, if we take an STM32F103 microcontroller, which is there in Blue Pill development board, it has four ports: port A, port B, port C, and port D. Port A having 16 pins, port B having 16 pins, port C having 16 pins, and port D as well having 16 pins. And each of these ports start from port A0 to port A15 and correspondingly for other ports. Same way, if we take an example of S32K144 microcontroller, which is there in Electronics version 3 development board, it has 5 ports: port A, port B, port C, port D, port E, and each of these ports have 16 pins on them, starting from indexing 0 to indexing 50. And that wraps up this video in our microcontroller technology series. If you're ready to take your microcontroller skills to the next level, don't forget to save this playlist of what is microcontroller technology, as in this playlist over time you will find number of videos which will help you learn about these tips in chronological and interactive way by covering modern day industry level concepts, tools, and technologies, so as to become a skilled engineer and not just a graduated one. For viewers who wanted to expand their knowledge by hands-on practical learning, check out our Introduction to Microcontroller Technology course 101, built around the industrial grade NXP S32K144 microcontroller. This course dives deep into peripheral of modern day microcontrollers, teaching you real world tools and techniques and no more just theory. Head over to edu.get2byte.com to learn more and get started. Let's keep learning, innovating, and building together, because a skilled engineer standouts, not just a graduated one. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth tutorials and series videos. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss out our next videos, and explore the next video so as to continue your learning in a chronological way from here, and explore the full series playlist linked right here. Got any questions or ideas? Drop them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you.